All you need to do as an African, as a migrant in the UK, or before coming to the UK, is to marry a British citizen and your life is settled. That is the belief that so many migrants, especially those from Africa, have. A belief system that is so rampant that so many people repeat it like a fact. Just marry a British citizen and your life is settled. You are far away from problems and challenges. You start living your dream life, as if marriage automatically removes struggles, as if immigration pressure disappears as soon as you sign the marriage certificate. Love and immigration laws are not same. Sometimes, even when the relationship is real, you still live in fear. What I will call silent fear. The kind of fear nobody sees from the outside. It is within. When I arrived in the UK, after marriage, everything was exciting, super perfect. New environment, new beginning, new hope, beautiful people, architectural masterpieces everywhere. Organized environment, of course. I remember looking outside the airplane window. I said, wow, this is it. When we're landing at the Heathrow International Airport. But slowly, another reality started unfolding. I realized very quickly that marriage did not make me safe or not to be touched by the established law, the policies, the procedures, and the rules. Instead, I entered a system of documents, deadlines, and financial requirements, immigration conditions, renewals. And that was my first shock. And suddenly, my entire life depended on paperwork. Because while coming from Africa or in Africa, many people think marriage is freedom. Once you get married to a British citizen, you're free to do anything and even live above the law. And nobody questions you. In reality, marriage can become the beginning of another type of pressure in its entirety. One of the hardest things migrants really talk about is emotional dependence, not emotional love. Immigration dependence. There's a different kind of fear when you realize that your legal status is connected to a relationship. Even if the marriage is genuine, the pressure still exists. Once you're an African, because of our culture, even cultural assimilation will be almost impossible to engulf it, to swallow it. That is when you realize that argument becomes heavier. When you argue with your spouse or your fiancé, as the case may be, it becomes heavier. You become unnecessarily jittery. And perhaps you may no longer become a man. Every misunderstanding appears very dangerous. Every serious disagreement quietly carries another fear in the background. Consciously and unconsciously, you begin to ask yourself, what happens to me if this relationship should crash? That fear changes people. I'm not entirely saying that some people don't survive it, but the processes, you will always have these feelings I'm talking about right now. So this is for you to prepare your mind mentally and otherwise, psychologically, financially. In the process, you discover some migrants become too quiet and tolerate unhealthy situations in their relationships. Some begin to lose confidence slowly. It's not because they are weak, but because fear changes a lot in every human. In the same vein, I thought that marriage should feel personal. But sometimes immigration procedures, immigration policies make marriages to feel administrative. That's another kind of fear. You are distressed constantly. You are being monitored. You will start gathering evidence for everything you do in that relationship. Proof of address, joint bills, letters, pictures, bank statements, photos, letters, documents to prove that you are living together. At some point, you begin to feel that your relationship is under observation, and that is what it is. You are being watched, you're being monitored, you're being scrutinized. And every renewal season brings tension again. You begin to ask, did we submit enough evidence? This is a kind of pressure. Did we miss anything? Are there going to be delays? Will there be questions? People outside think the pressure is only financial. But sometimes the bigger problem is psychological. The feeling that your personal life is constantly being evaluated by the system. Now let's talk about the loneliness nobody expects. This part surprised me the most because I used to think that marriage will make me feel alive again. But loneliness can still exist even when you are married. You can have papers and still feel disconnected. You can live with someone and still miss that familiarity. Your heart yearns. And honestly, as an African, sometimes you miss the noise back home. Africa is beautiful in terms of social relationships. Community lifestyle in Africa is unbeatable. There's no way you're not gonna miss it in the UK. The spontaneity in Africa, the humor, the feeling that you are understood, even when you mess up, without explanation. In the UK, life could become extremely structured. Everybody is busy, everybody is working, everybody is managing time and budget. Everybody is managing bills and schedules and responsibilities. And migrants slowly discover something painful. A residence permit can legalize your stay, but it cannot automatically remove emotional isolation. Another hidden burden migrants carry is this. Once you move abroad, people back home feel you have made it. Wow, he's in the UK, he's in the United States, he's in Netherlands, Germany. Come on. Emeka has made it. Especially if Emeka got married to a British citizen. Meanwhile, you are still trying to understand the system. Therefore, some migrants become trapped in two realities, two worlds. The image people see online and the emotional pressure you live with offline. After going through all of this, I understood something very important. The biggest challenge for many migrants in the UK is not really money. Sometimes it is psychological uncertainties. The constant feeling that stability is conditional. It teaches you maturity very fast. You begin to plan, you begin to coordinate, you execute properly, you ask necessary questions, you dot your I's and cross your T's very well. It teaches you patience and emotional control, humility and adaptation. It can also make people emotionally tired if not handled properly. Then the lessons many people learn too late. Marriage to a British citizen can open doors of opportunities, no doubt. It can change your immigration pathway excellently. But it doesn't automatically remove fear. It doesn't automatically create belonging. It does not automatically give peace of mind. A passport can change your legal status, But learning how to feel emotionally stable in a foreign country is a completely different journey. I hope you enjoyed this package. Please like, share, comment, subscribe for the next story. God bless you. In case you are experiencing immigration challenge right now, tell it to God. He won't fail you.